Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it's I, your host of the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can. And champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard streams for a Raw Rewind this week in WWE. It doesn't matter. It's all nonsense in the end. And here in the yard streams with us, part of the Raw Rewind. Can't have the Raw Rewind without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. Sara, what's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
So that whole time I had a sneeze. So that's why. So when you watch it back, you're going to see me like eyes, whatever. And then you played the AO and went away. So.
Oh my gosh. There you go. Anytime you need to sneeze and you're like, I don't want to. Just watch that clip. Although I feel like there's never really a moment where I don't want to sneeze. It's more,
you feel good.
Isn't that weird though? Like,
no, I mean, weird to say out loud, but
no, it's weird that like when you get the feeling of needing to sneeze, you want to sneeze. You know, like it's annoying when the sneeze goes away.
Yes, because when you sneeze, it's like getting something out of you. So
I know, but isn't but what I'm saying,
sense,
like it's weird, you know?
It is
like,
weird, 1,000%.
Yeah, because most of the time it's like you don't want to cough and you don't want to burp, like, but it's like, but when I have to sneeze, girls, let me sneeze.
I always want to burp. Oh,
yeah, I'm sure you do. You burp, you fart. Yeah, you know.
I'm a guy. That's kind of what we do.
In front of the ladies. Yeah, I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I'm swimming.
That's why I'm single, ladies.
I'm swimming into bitches. I'm kidding. I am so single, like a Pringle. Anyways, let's do what we do best here. And let's talk wrestling. Let's not even just go. We can leave the Raw for a little. It's been a fun week in wrestling, and we are doing this on a Wednesday. It's Raw. 2 days have passed. I know the WWE show has passed already with NXT, but we love coming in here and talking about it. And I think you'd agree with me when I say that this show has made you more excited in a way to talk wrestling, so that after you watch, it's not like, oh, let's go, whatever. It's like, oh, we have the show. It's like, oh my God, I have this to say. I want to bring up this. And, at this point, I feel, to me at least, that if I go at least one day without recording, well, we have to take a night off. And then the next night we take no nights off. We're back in it the next day. But because the champ, was at Kowloon last night, which is apparently the New England mecca of wrestling. I was there last night for the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy live show. It was awesome. Shout out Matt Hardy. He is awesome. I met him. Picture will be up on my Instagram at Pitsy35 because we have the AEW Dynamite tonight, so we'll do a combine. But John Alba is an amazing human anyways, from going to school with him and hanging out with him. And then, afterwards seeing how involved he was with the wrestling community and, how intelligent his mind is. And then last night, you see showcase that we had Daniel Garcia, Limitless guy, and then Isaiah Cassidy, I think his name is, the Moan Man. He's part of like the Hardy faction now in AEW. And Mark Henry.
Yeah, that was random when you texted me that.
It was so random. And he was wearing a soccer jersey with his name on the back. It was pretty cool.
That's cool.
So, and we got to watch No Mercy 99, their ladder match against Edge and Christian. And it was just a really cool event, because I've never really been to those. I've only been to wrestling shows.
Yeah.
And the meet and greets. You did the meet and greets. You've told stories here about getting autographs, meeting wrestlers, all that experience. I didn't do that. I didn't really have any friends to go with, and it was kind of, it still is in a way here that I'm kind of looked at as an outcast in a way. With my
that's why you
stuff.
have me.
That's
now.
what I'm saying. It's why it's amazing.
What's funny is the friend that I did that with is someone that I met on like Twitter / Panic at the Disco fan club message board.
That's incredible.
That's how we met. And the first time I met her in person, I was flying to her house to stay with her for 2 weeks. We had never met in person.
That's actually insane.
Yeah, I mean, she still lived at home with her parents, but so it's like it felt a little safer. We had
True.
like Skyped and stuff, but like
Oh no,
yeah,
yeah, you definitely like met like that. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean that's how I always met a lot of my anybody that I ever got to like talk wrestling with and stuff. It was always probably from some social media platform that I met them, because it was tricky to find anybody in person that
Yeah.
enjoyed it as much as I did. So
Yeah, it's a really small group, but after last night, I've learned that it's a very strong one, and
mm,
it's really awesome to be part of the TW or IWC, whatever you want to call it. Or it's good and bad. Bernard, speaking of wrestling community, people we met online, we got to say hello to Bernard.
we
Our,
love Bernard. We
Phil,
got
that's
some really
cool.
nice comments recently too on videos. So like shout out to you guys, like all of the new subs. Since the last time I told you, Pat, actually we got 15 more. So we're nearing 800.
That's incredible.
Um
That's incredible.
yeah, and so it's really cool to see some of the positive feedback, because like we've talked about before, our videos, when we cut them and even our live streams, they don't get a ton of views. It's exciting if it gets 200, you know. um
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily why we're doing it. This just gives us like an excuse to talk about wrestling, as opposed to like texting about it or whatever, and to interact with other fans and
And
see
make
what they
great
have to
content.
say.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool to get comments like, oh, I've really enjoyed your show, or you guys have really great takes, or this and that. I agree with you guys. Like, I always get really excited. So, and I try to respond to as many comments as I can. Sometimes I don't understand what the comments say, so I don't
Yeah. It's
respond.
just gonna happen. It's
But
just gonna happen with the territory.
yeah, so it's just been kind of cool. Like every time I get on to the YouTube app thing, there's always like a new comment, and I'm like, ooh, like I get excited
That's
to see
cool.
like what people have to say. So
It's really
um
cool.
yeah, it is.
It's nice. Let's get things off, Sarah, with what's going on as I watch NXT from last night.
Okay, so we had Cody Rhodes start off Raw, and I mean, you kind of knew that was going to happen. It was in Atlanta. He is an Atlanta boy, so of course we have to start him off. Yeah. And it was another promo that I'm fine with, because we always enjoy when he gets on the mic and just gets like the stage to talk for however long. And the entire time he was basically just calling out Brock Lesnar, like without going super detailed into what he was saying. It's just talking about Brock Lesnar, how he still hasn't shown up, hasn't accepted his challenge, and he was still waiting to hear back from Brock Lesnar. Says his relationship with Brock Lesnar could be summed up in 2 words, and he said, hard times. So I got excited.
Oh, I popped.
Okay.
I popped.
I did too. I was like, wait a second, because I don't know.
Doing.
I think we've talked about it, but I know that it's been floated around like on the internet that people were wanting them to kind of take a similar route to the Dusty Rhodes Hard Times era to get him to the championship, to kind of like replicate it but make it Cody's own. So it's still it's almost like mirroring what Dusty did and like honoring him in that way, but making it a thing for Cody.
Twist. Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, I feel like that makes sense. Obviously, all the obstacles that he has to go through to get to the championship, because that will be far more satisfying than just seeing him win the Royal Rumble and then 2 months later winning the title.
Yeah.
Just telling you guys. So I'm wondering if that was a hint at maybe that. Or maybe Cody was just trying to get a cheap little pop because his family was there. I don't know. But
that too. That's always play. I actually recently listened to Hard Times, that promo.
Oh, really?
I watched it, and dude, Dusty Rhodes, man, is just absolutely incredible. It's incredible.
This is something that, and I believe I've said this before when we've talked about it. I'm just so happy to see Cody like embrace Dusty at this point in his career, because I again, this is something we've talked about, but I have like the second generation, third generation stars, especially when one of them is like, so iconic that it's difficult to kind of establish yourself.
Yeah, student to the skid type of thing.
Yeah, and it's like, even with someone as young as The Rock's daughter, like people are gonna always compare her to her dad, even though they're completely different, And so with Cody, he was always trying to be so different than his dad, which is great. But I really do think that that's what ended up hurting him. So now that he's like kind of embracing it and playing off of what his dad did, I love it. I think that it's just incredible.
It is.
So, obviously he mentions that his mom is in the front row. His sister was there as well. And that's when I feel like we should have known that that shit was going to go down.
Oh my God. Anytime that a parent is flashed, a loved one, because I've sat next to parents before.
Oh, really?
And they don't the Viking Raiders.
The Viking Raiders parents?
Yeah, or one of those tag teams.
Oh.
Like them, or there was another one. I forget. If someone could tell me, it'd be great. But one of and they didn't highlight, and they won the match. Or they were,
right.
It was a match.
Yeah.
So why did I bring that up? Because if they show the family member,
yeah,
that family member is going to watch their son or daughter get absolutely pummeled.
And it's funny because I think at first, usually that's what you'll think, but in this instance, I was kind of hesitant to jump to that conclusion just because it was in Atlanta and it was like the hometown boy. I mean, they have a whole shirt dedicated to like Georgia's own Cody Rhodes, So I was like, okay, maybe not. And then when he like goes and kisses her and then Brock's music hits, I was like, oh, here we go. But I loved this. I loved that Brock's music hit. And then Cody's like, hold on, mom. I got to go take care of business. And starts like walking up the ramp like, And then it's like, oh, Brock's not there. Brock's just like, LOL, just kidding, bro. I'm not here. And then the music plays again. And then Cody stands there. And then he just like does that like walk, that serious.
He definitely did that on purpose.
What?
There is no way he did that again.
Just that walk. Own. Yeah.
He's playing into it. Come on. It's all over the IWC.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he saw it. Yeah. I mean, we love it though. So yeah, he does that. And then all of a sudden, such classic WWE, he goes back into the gorilla. And then all of a sudden a chair just flies out of nowhere. Like, what were you doing with the chair? Like, how did it miss Cody if you were right there? But basically, yeah, Brock just beats his ass for the next couple of minutes. He F5s him in front of his family.
Just awful.
Gets him into the ring and accepts his challenge. So we finally know that Cody versus Brock will be happening at SummerSlam. Now we just have to wait and see what the stipulation is going to be.
And this is a great segue, Sarah, into our comment section here.
Right.
Because Dickie Martinez, a loyal peep himself, actually. We gave Bernard.
Yes.
Does Cody and Brock have a stip? They didn't announce it on Raw, but I think maybe next week it will. I would agree with you, Dickie. I really would.
I think that Cody's going to want a stipulation based on what Brock did to him on Raw in front of his family, and the way that he handled it when Cody hasn't been really like threatening violence towards him. He just wanted him to accept his SummerSlam challenge. So I think, we might find out next week or at least within the next 2 weeks. I think, 2 weeks. Cause I think SummerSlam's in like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see what it is because I would assume that it's going to be worse than just a chairs match if we're going to just go off of what was used on Raw.
Smart.
I want to see a stipulation. I'm just not sure what I want to see.
Here's a question for you. And everyone's saying bull rope or a strap match, which would make sense for those two type of guys in the feud it is. But let's think a little bit more outside the box. It's in Detroit. If you were going to do a bull rope match, Texas, the South, like anything
Dallas,
like that. Dallas, yeah. But in Detroit, what's that? Like,
Cars.
What if we get a parking lot brawl?
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't
like. Would you hate that though?
I don't know if I would hate it. I think that I would hate it if I was someone who was at the show. Because then you have to watch the match on the screen.
Watch it, and they're not gonna, I'm gonna retract that because they
it makes sense. No, like the car theme, obviously, but I think that like especially with it being Cody. I mean, they try to exploit that man as much as they can.
It's
they have
insane.
him come out and use his full pyro to be interviewed on the ramp. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
he can't just walk out in the backstage to his
Yeah.
theme song. That one, and it's SummerSlam. Yeah.
yeah.
But I like where my mind went there. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like it's something like a no DQ. Like, I know that people had been
Oh, it's gonna be no disqualification.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but I wouldn't be surprised if it's that simple.
Like
Is what I mean. Like,
unsanctioned.
people were saying that it was going to be something that we haven't seen in a long time, and I don't know if we really need that. I don't know that they've gotten to that level yet. Like, let's say there was another Brock versus Roman after the last man standing match that they had, that I could understand where they're like, we're going to see something that we haven't seen in a long time, because they had basically done everything possible to each other up to that point. So it would make sense. But at this point, I don't know that there's been enough that has happened between Brock and Cody for it to be like some extreme match that we haven't seen in 30 years. Like,
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
It's got to be bloody. It's got to be brutal. And it has to be over the top. In WWE, you don't need a stipulation like that to get to that point. I mean, it was a last man standing match, and Brock Lesnar just took a tractor, and flipped the ring, and it was just a last man standing match.
And look at what happened with Cody Brock 1, where Brock was busted open, bleeding everywhere.
You would have thought it wasn't a hardcore match.
Yeah, and that was just from hitting the turnbuckle like face first. So yeah, I don't know that it's going to be that crazy, and I don't think it needs to be. I think that like even just a normal no disqualification match would be fine. I feel like I would be fine with that.
You need I know it's WWE and it's not Jon Moxley in the Elite show, but for this to end and for these two guys, blood is okay, and it would make sense.
Especially for Cody to win, because it would make Cody look tough and like a badass that he like beat Brock in this like hardcore brawl. What if it was like a hardcore match? Imagine that.
Like just a hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, get some steel, the trash barrels. I love when they use the steel trash barrels.
The 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire.
Barbie, I love her or him, whatever it is. Oh my, I love those.
I don't know. Anyway, so we'll have to see. I'm sure we'll find out like in a week or two.
Yeah. All good questions, but it's just I want to kind of move on, but these are good. Dickie said 3 stages of hell or bull rope is likely. I mean, we just said that. So if Cody beats Brock, maybe Bray Wyatt.
I know. I don't love that idea only because I'll just say I don't love the idea of Cody going against Bray right now, only because Bray's been gone. And so I don't know that it makes sense for him to be like a roadblock on his way to becoming champion. But also, I'm not against it because I think they would do incredible together. And I would really, I'm sorry. And I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I don't remember who said it. Was it Stone? Yeah, I think it was Stone Cold, right? Because we never talked about it. That said they really need to have Bray come back as like the cult leader, like Bray, the Wyatt family Bray. And I really believe I agree with that 100%, because that was the best version of Bray. And I understand when they got rid of it, why they got rid of it, because it was getting to a point where it was like, okay, what do we do? But that had already been how many years that he had been doing it. So my only concern is that I wouldn't be surprised if Bray doesn't want to, because of Brody being gone, because he kind of alluded to like it not feeling right to do it now with Brody being gone. But I don't know that it needs to be a Wyatt family. You know what I mean? I don't know that he needs anyone else with him. I think that it could just be that version of Bray, but he doesn't need Rowan and Harper with him. You know what I mean?
I just had a brain blast. Okay. I just had it, but it was because of what you said. Okay. So I'm gonna give you credit there. This makes sense. Like they have to do this at some point. It may not be the next feud he goes on.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like it for the next one, but at some point, 100%. Yeah.
By you saying the Brody thing and him going back to the cult leader and all that.
Wait, the connection.
There you go. There you go.
Wait a second. Oh my God.
They had probably one of the most legendary feuds in AEW Brody and Cody
Yes.
Rhodes
Yes.
for the TNT title when it was
Yes.
actually legit. And then you can connect too with Bray being this supernatural Undertaker type of figure.
Mm-hmm.
And when they feud, it needs to be right before Cody makes that switch to the path to winning the title. So, maybe like the next feud leading up to the title.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever, if
Yeah,
it's a Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania wins it.
Yeah, because it could be like Bray messing with his mental state. Yeah.
And he shows the videos and stuff and does like weird connections and the Dusty, and he makes Cody really search within himself to find that warrior fighter that can become what his dad couldn't. So for this needs to happen. And we in the Yard of Streams cannot be the only people who have thought of this. And and by that I mean the execs over in Stamford. If they have not, give me a goddamn call.
I know, right?
Give us a call. We will explain it.
I'm really hoping that they will just go in that direction with Bray. I think that the potential that he had when he first came back, first of all, incredible. His return was incredible, and everything that led up to it was amazing. I think that it just wasn't executed well, and I think that we've talked about how it's really difficult in professional wrestling today to have any sort of larger than life not like fictional character really take off right now, because it's not the 80s, it's not the 90s where you believe in superheroes and the Undertaker is really dead, and Kane is like really a burned brother of Undertaker. Like there's not that type of character around anymore, and it's because there isn't that like supernatural part of wrestling anymore because of the internet and because of social media and whatever, and because you're so connected to wrestlers now from that. I think that's why Bray's character didn't work, but I feel like a cult leader Bray 100% would work right now, because there legitimately are still cult leaders here. Like
cult leaders are so in right now.
They're like so hot right now, dude. Like get on that trend.
Those cult leaders are so hot right now.
And that's kind of one that never really goes out of style, because like there's so many things that you can do with that, and they also played around with the idea of making the Wyatt 6, so it's like, again, you could kind of play off that.
That's kind of what about the Bray members of the Puppet? That's kind of what they were alluding to.
And that would be a way to not stray too far away from the last time that we saw Bray.
Yeah, personifies them. Yeah,
bro, I will freak out. I know we're going off on this tangent. We're only on the first topic.
Jesus.
But how much would you freak out when you see the rocking chair and the lantern? Like,
it's my favorite Bray Wyatt.
I know. Remember when LA Knight did that entrance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
God.
So anyway, that would be great. All right, let's move on before.
Move on. We gotta move on here.
Okay, then we got on to Gunther.
Well, I don't think this is gonna be long, because I don't think we're gonna talk about the second person as much.
I have a lot of things to say.
I'll just let you go off.
Okay.
This. I'll let you just take over this, and you entertain the champ about why we should all love Gunther and Imperium as much as you do.
Okay, well,
because I would probably So you just do that, because this is your brand. These are your boys.
These are me boys.
These are your boys. So
we had Gunther versus Matt Riddle again in a non-title match. Thank God it was a non-title match, because I'm sorry, I'm sick of this. But anyway, so the match was typical. It's what we've seen from them before, but I felt like Gunther was especially vicious in this match, because I lost count at how many chops he hit Matt Riddle with. I honestly have no idea. But that man had to have been dying, because those chops were extra hard, and just I don't know. I was just very excited. And I did notice that it seems like they are trying to let Riddle implement more of the MMA type of stuff into his wrestling, because that is a lot of what he's been doing in his recent matches. So kudos to him. I guess. I don't know. That's all I'm going to say about that. Obviously, Gunther wins because Gunther will not lose a match. I don't know if you guys know this, but he's basically a protected asset at this point. So he's not going to lose a match. And then afterwards, what I loved was him getting on the announcer's desk, which I was like, who is this right now? And he just gets on there and insults the crowd immediately. And I was like, yes, King. Yes, King. Let them have it, please. Let them have it. He says that they can keep booing, but this is still the greatest night of their sad lives. And I was like, this is true. If I were there, I would agree, sir. He says he's going to be the greatest intercontinental champion of all time, and says that if Drew wants to ride his coattails, because that is true, he can go on ahead and do so, but that he's still going to fall to the ring general, just like everybody else. So if you're not, I mean, I don't even know what to say. You say that you want me to convince people to be a fan of Gunther. I don't know what to say to you. I am so shocked at how many people are just like so like, viscerally against Gunther on Twitter, especially because I've had people being like, he sucks, he's so boring, he's not a good wrestler, he's this, he's that, and I'm just like, do we watch the same thing? Like, it's one of those things that everybody is. I forgot you're not like chiming in. It's
I only have one thing to say, but you gotta go on your tangent.
After. I get that people aren't going to like certain styles of wrestlers. They're not going to like the bad guy. I 100% understand that, but I just get kind of confused when you say that you're a fan of professional wrestling and you can't even give credit to certain professional wrestlers that are very obviously talented and put on one hell of a match every single time they do get in the ring. So I'm just like that confuses me because it's like you can still acknowledge greatness even if they're not your cup of tea. Like I've said it before, I don't like CM Punk. I never liked CM Punk, but can I sit there and say that he didn't put on good matches and that he's not talented? Absolutely not. I even have credited Matt Riddle.
What do you mean? Apparently Nathaniel said that you have a crush on
him. Not at all. Is that like ew, like what?
Hold on, I have a perfect. Oh, I missed it. Maybe no.
Oh man,
no, I missed
it. The timing of this is horrific.
No, we deleted it. Okay, it's not a big deal. But it was one of the ones we said to.
Oh, did we delete?
I couldn't find it. So and the moment has passed.
Oh, okay. Well, you could.
Don't get excited.
There you
yes.
go.
He is superb. So, yeah, I definitely do not have a crush on Matt Riddle. Thank you, sir. So yeah,
yeah.
My only concern is that since this is the first time that Gunther has like done something like that, or I think he's done it before, but it's been a while. I'm just a little bit concerned that they're gonna have him drop the title to Drew McIntyre, and I ain't about it, sir.
Oh, I'm happy. But, I'm very happy. I waited to make my point then. If that's okay, what you're saying.
But yes. I feel like they can't do that because by the time SummerSlam comes around, it would not have been long enough for him to break the record. So that's what I'm holding on to. Nothing against Drew McIntyre. He is a daddy, but
not your time.
Yeah, it's just not the time right now. Not the time, sir.
So I'm gonna kind of put your worries at ease with my thoughts.
Okay.
That promo last night was for the company, Gunther, whoever, to look back on and say, okay, this was the moment that it was evident he is going to surpass Honky Tonk Man. You know, it's one of those promos because he doesn't just get out and talk.
Yeah.
As often like that. So, and for him to get on the announcer table, I'm just thinking like for the documentary and all this stuff and, you know, what they're going to do in the future, you're going to look back in that moment and say like, that was the moment everyone knew that there was nobody fucking stopping Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got.
All right, then let's move on because we're
so over right now.
We're like so hot. So, we got another tease of Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez last night, and there's a lot to go into this. So, you know, we just gotta go accordingly. So, Liv and Raquel were being interviewed backstage, and that was when Rhea rolled up and was like, "What's up, girlies?" And then she headbutt Liv, and took that chick out. And then she went after Raquel, and it looks like she hurt her leg. And I was like, ooh, honey, what is going on here? And so I got excited about that. And then later we got a tease of Liv versus Rhea in the main event when Liv comes out during the main event and attacks Rhea. And I was like, what is happening? So we got a tease for both. Which is something we talked about last week, actually, about the possibility of it being Liv versus Rhea, which we were not on board for, and I'm still not on board for. However, I don't know if people saw this, but Liv left Raw in a sling. So I don't know what's going on with Liv. I would assume that it might be something to do with her shoulder injury that had kept her out however long it was, a month or whatever. She might have like re-aggravated it or something. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything yet. But because of what happens on the show with the tag team titles, which we'll get to, I think that it has to be Raquel and Rhea, right?
It's going to be a mix of the two for quite some time. Those are going to be the two competitors for her title that they're going to go one-on-one. They're going to go one-on-one again, and then they're going to have a triple threat to culminate it. Rhea still wins because you have to.
Yes,
but
she has.
But the whole purpose is you need to build a women's championship card. You need to have those stars right now who can challenge Rhea and it not be Zelina Vega, where you just know she's going to get that so close kick out at 2.
Yeah.
And that's the moment. You need people that legitimately won champions already with Liv. Another aspect of Raquel going to be, it's just not her time right now. Let Rhea have her time, then Rocky gets it. So you just cycle with those three, and then you got yourselves a nice women's title picture. So then you can focus on what we're going to talk about with the other two winning and how that's going to improve. So as much shit as we've given Papa Paul for a lot of things right now and confusion, it's like, oh my God, what are you doing? And all this. This was done so well, and it felt like it was when the stars align, you get that moment where everyone just goes on their own path, and we get to see what's next.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip ahead and we can just talk about the tag.
Let's just talk about it because we already teased it and we're over.
Yeah. So we have Chelsea and Sonya versus Raquel and Liv for the women's tag team championships. And I caught this. My sister and I were watching Raw together. And when Raquel came out, we felt like there was something up. Like my sister says to me, oh, she looks really sad. And I was like, oh, well, she might be playing up the injury, right? Because she was supposed to be having a knee injury. And then the doctor said, oh, no, we don't really want to allow her to wrestle tonight because we'd really like to get some scans. But Anna Pierce was like, nope, if you feel like you're good, then you're going. So I was like, okay, but now that we know that the match ended and them losing their titles, I feel like it was a giveaway. I felt kind of bad for her, but I am so here for Chelsea and Sonya winning. I think it was the right move, which I think some people are taking issue with because obviously I feel for Raquel. Her recent history of the tag team division has not been good.
No.
But this had to be done in order for Rhea versus Raquel to make sense because we even talked about it. It seemed like it was kind of a barrier to get that to actually happen because it's like, so then you're not going to have the tag team titles at SummerSlam. Like that felt like something that needed to happen. But if Raquel is going to go after the women's championship, which that was throughout the entire show last night, and if Liv is injured, then you assume that that's not going to be a match at SummerSlam. So I think this was great. I'm very excited for Chelsea and Sonya. Chelsea is amazing. I am obsessed with her.
She needs a title on her. She's so good. Like she needs
hilarious.
to be champion.
Yeah, she's hilarious. I love this. I like that they've kind of like she's still the Karen character, but it's not as like obnoxious Karen.
No, it's not a legit Karen. It's a nice
the way that they introduced her, it was like very like viral video Karen, and I like that they've kind of let her make it her own and she's thriving. It's incredible. I'm so happy for them.
Oh, I couldn't agree anymore. I mean, to see her character like that, and then on top of it, she's actually good in the ring, like very good. Not only with her moves, but selling. registering, all that stuff she's so good at that you just want to see what she's up to next.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also giving Sonya flowers too, because
Yeah.
We've talked about Chelsea a lot, and Sonya may be the Janetti of this group, but I think just from how far she's came from, being a jobber in a sense, and being bounced back and forth with different factions, tag teams, her even like managerial stint,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's nice to see her get rewarded with the tag team titles. So,
what I love too is
and
the history that
yeah,
they have together, because they were both on Tough Enough
I
the
seen
same
that. Yeah,
season. So I do like that, which I think is another aspect of why I like them as a tag team, because there is that familiarity there. They were comfortable with each other, even though they hadn't worked together, as a tag team. I don't know. I really like that. It doesn't feel as randomly put together as other women's tag teams have been. So I'm really excited for it.
And the way that
I know. And Chelsea Green. I'm obsessed. I saw people hate it. No.
Oh, you can't. Come on.
This to me, okay. So we love Samantha. I wish that she had seen our videos that we put out about her like months ago, when we were like, oh my God, she's incredible. She's like the next Lillian Garcia, right? The thing that I love about her is how like unique she has made the announcing job. It's not just this stereotypical way of announcing everybody basically the same. I like that she puts certain like characters, like, yeah, there's just ways, like the way she introduces Imperium, the way that she introduces Chelsea. It's like there's personality behind it. And so, and there's ways like Tony Chimmel and the way that he announced the rated R superstar, like those are things that we always love to hear. And I think that Samantha has all of the capabilities of having that with the way that she introduces some of these people. So I love it. I think it's great. And it makes sense with Chelsea. It makes sense for her to do it. Yeah. She is. Really and it's incredible, because before this, she was a singer. Like, no, I'm not disrespecting. I don't mean that in a mean way, but like she wasn't like an announcer.
Yes,
but
she wasn't in the field.
She understands how to use her voice though, because of being a singer. So I love it. And I love the videos that she posts on like TikTok and Instagram, of her introducing different wrestlers and stuff. So you can just see like how passionate she is about it. So yeah.
And to get to announce her husband, fiance, whatever he is, every week, like that's cool.
I know, that has to be kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if it makes him a little nervous though.
Nah, I think he gets excited. I think he's like, he gives him a little like, oh, I got this.
Ooh, my girly. Yeah. My girly. Okay, so Finn Balor crashes Seth's interview, which I kind of thought that this was meaning that Seth wasn't there again. But apparently he was, because he comes out in the main event. But I really thought that this was something like I said, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this was pre-recorded. They really just had Finn put on the same clothes, but apparently not. It just felt like the same setup from when he was filming for the 2 weeks and he was gone. It was like, oh yeah, this isn't really happening. But anyway, Seth is being interviewed, blah 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 blah. And then Finn rolls up, and I was like, yes, daddy. And he was like, you got a what?
I got to. Never mind. Go.
Oh,
keep
okay.
Talking. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So Finn rolls up and he says that he wants a rematch, and he tells Seth to get it done. Talk to Pierce. Talk to whoever you gotta. Just get this done. I want this match. Seth basically declines it, which I was like, excuse me. And he says that he needs to stop living in the past. Finn, stop thinking that this is 7 years ago. Okay, stop. And Finn's like, I'm not living in the past, but I want to do what you did to me. I want to beat you. I want to hurt you. I want to laugh in your face. And I want to take away your career and alter it forever, just like you did to me. Seth then goes into this long thing about how the title is bigger than him and it's bigger than Finn. And if he just wants to settle the score, then they can just like get into it right then. They don't need to have a match for the title. And he says, Finn, take your shot or get out of my face. And so Finn's like, okay. okay. And then he walks away, and Seth is like, sorry guys, sorry for like the interruption. And then Finn is like, oh yeah, bitch. And then he comes back and just beats the crap out of him.
See, I love that because that's where Finn, he just needs to be that psychotic heel right now.
Yes.
Going into this, he needs to be obsessed. He needs to act
Yes.
a little bit out of character, even to the point where his own flesh and blood in the Judgment Day are even like, dude, you're even getting on my business. What are we doing?
Mhm.
And then finally to focus his energy, it's a good way to conclude this. And even potentially a shock.
I know. I loved this. I'm just loving everything about Finn right now. I mean, he could be doing absolutely nothing and I'd be loving him anyway.
Well, I mean,
But
Finn Balor.
yeah, Bay Daddy. But I do love just everything that he's doing with this storyline and the direction that they're taking his character. And I'm just excited. I thought this was great. And this is the type of thing that we needed too, especially after how the match ended against Seth last time. And there hasn't really been a whole lot going on between them. So it was nice to finally see this side of Finn again. And of course, it then was announced that the match is official at SummerSlam. So we will be seeing that. And I'm very excited about it. I'm kind of wondering if there is going to be a stipulation attached to it as well, just because, the Judgment Day does get involved. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do something with that. But I do see Richard saying Demon Finn. No, I just don't want Demon Finn. As much as I would love it, because yes, it would mirror 2016 SummerSlam. I don't want to see it because I don't trust them. They buried him again at WrestleMania. I don't trust them whatsoever.
No,
if I knew definitively that Finn was going to win at SummerSlam, I'd go, yeah, go for it. But I feel like the how Finn is right now, he has an edge to him that he doesn't need to be the demon to get
I
that.
agree with that. I think that's a good point. The demon is the past,
Mhm.
where that was a baby face heel, if that makes sense. It was the heel look, but everyone loved him and he loved the fans. Where this is a different Finn, a vicious, ferocious Finn, where you just need him to be him.
Yeah.
He'll be the prince or, whatever, and come out with that mask. That's his new demon. And maybe it's a new mask that he debuts when he really wants to mean business and get the win. Mm-hmm. Bury his opponent, whatever. That is where they're going. So
yeah, and I love the mask too, because there's no facial expressions or anything really. I like that it's kind of emotionless, because I feel like it plays very well into how they're having Finn be right now. Yeah. So yeah, that is very exciting to me. I'm glad that we finally have this is a match that we know for sure is going to happen, so we don't have to keep sitting here and talking about oh, what if this happens.
Bernard, the report saying Seth Rollins to have surgery on his back, so may have dropping the title.
We're not going to talk about this yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. So
we're getting
Bernard,
there. We're getting there. Don't you worry, Bernard. So continuing with, or is there anything else we need to talk about actually?
No, we're good.
Okay, continuing with Judgment Day, we have Judgment Day, Damian and Dominic versus KO and Sammy, and the tag team titles were put on the line earlier in the night when the Judgment Day were in the ring, and KO and Sammy came out, or blah 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 blah, and then Damian was like, well, if you guys are feeling so confident, why don't you put your tag titles on the line? And they were like, okay, and then Kevin was like, blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, I'm so mad.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna. Yeah. You want a piece of me so much? You want these titles? All right, I'll do it. You want these titles? You got it tonight.
Yeah. All right.
How was that impression?
I didn't realize Kevin Owens was on a fan of the show, but I guess he was here.
Have you looked at me? We kind of are. There's similarities.
Yes. So, yeah, there was a lot of action in this match. Kevin is all over the place, even in matches, which I like. If they're going to have him be this over the top version of himself where he just freaks out and whatever, I love that he's doing the Braun Strowman thing, running around the ring and just knocking dudes down. I just feel like it just plays into this new part of that character where he's just all over the place. I don't know. I found it interesting.
I like how embellishes. his emotions.
Yeah.
I will say the only thing that I would add to this would be how he just talks in the ring and has conversations like when he's beating up his opponents. That would be like, bring that back. He did that back years ago with his Universal stint. It would add another cool feature, we'll say, to the gimmick.
Yeah. So there was a lot of action. As I said, the Judgment Day get help from Rhea in the match, which eventually, as I said earlier, Liv does take her down and KO and Sammy win because obviously they are not going to have them lose the tag team titles. But as I've said, I really am just waiting for them to have a feud. I just want to see KO and Sammy have a real feud. But I don't know. I feel like they have to have the titles on the line at SummerSlam, and as of right now, I don't see what direction they're going to go in for that. But it is what it is. And then we're going to talk a little bit about NXT. So the Judgment Day have been on NXT the last, 2-3 weeks? And Dom had a match. Yeah, Dirty Dom had a match against Wes Lee for the North American Championship. And with the help from Damian and Rhea, Dominic broke the internet last night by becoming the North American champion. I was obsessed with this decision. I was so excited. It's funny. I didn't even know it happened. Someone texted me and was like, "Did you see Dom won the title tonight? Title on NXT?" And I was like, "What?" And so I checked and I was like obsessed. I was immediately obsessed. I'm not like a huge fan of Dominic individually, obviously. But Judgment
Dirty
Day,
Dom.
Hello. Hey, we were commenting. Yes, what's up, Mr. Squirrel? Hey, look, Squirrel. He was the one that I sent you he commented. He was really nice in his comment. That's one I sent you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you nice guy.
So anyway, I thought this was the right move. I understand why people are upset because did you see when he won how unanimously people were so upset? Did you see the reactions in the audience? It was
No, I haven't. I haven't watched it.
Oh my god. Okay, so when you see it, it's insane. You just see people like, oh, and then there's people being like, are you kidding, bro? Like, oh my god. Like there's just so many people just being like, oh my god, I can't believe it.
My favorite reactions because they're the true fans that they don't want to do this shit. They just love it.
Yeah.
And it's like watching a movie. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was really excited about this. I think that it was very unexpected, especially because Wes Lee obviously is like a top talent in NXT, and he's been the North American champion for quite a while at this point, and he's defended it a lot as well. But we have to remember too that when they're having these main roster people go down to NXT, usually it's not just like a one-off thing. They probably are going to win the title because it's happened quite a few times over the last year. So, yes, I also think that this was the right move for Dominic. I think that this benefits the Judgment Day overall. Now we have Rhea as a champion. We have Dominic as a champion. And I think it was the right move to make him a champion in NXT first. Especially he's on Raw. He's not going to be the Intercontinental champion. Let's be real. And then we have Damian with the briefcase. And then as Bernard said, Seth talks on Impulsive that he's been dealing with neck and back and whatever types of injuries. And I feel like this might mean
this is where we can display.
Yeah, this is what I think, we might see Finn beat Rollins at SummerSlam. I'm thinking we might be getting that, and I think that it's possible that this was a look into the future from Dom winning NXT, the North American title.
I love their theme. Their theme's awesome.
I think they all have really good. I'm not like huge into Dominic's, like his individual one. It fits him, but I'm saying I want to like download it and listen to it. But I really do like Finn's. I like Damian's individual one. Obviously, obsessed with Rhea's. But yeah, no, this is very exciting for me, and I think this is exactly what we've wanted for the Judgment Day for literally months.
I kind of like it. I'm sorry, the more I'm thinking about it, okay. So a little behind the curtain. everyone knows the champ has more than one screen in the Pits Cave. We got 3, Trace. And on TV Bezos, the BTV, we got NXT right now because we got to catch up from last night. If you don't know why, go check out the intro of the show. And right now, Dominic getting prepared with the D'Angelo brothers or Mob, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great tease. And then having, the crazy chick who took out everyone in the NXT parking lot is talking to Rhea. Oh, I'm excited to watch it. I'm going to pause it. If we're still going, I'm going to pause it so I can watch it.
Yeah.
Because that would be the one match I'd want to see tonight.
Well, and we literally just talked last week. Someone asked, it was a video that we posted a clip. The clip was made into a video. Is Dom's work, especially how over he is, does it warrant him becoming a champion? And we said, we didn't consider NXT. We were saying, if it was only for main roster, it didn't feel like there was a fit there other than tag team championship, because obviously on Raw, you can't win the Intercontinental title against Gunther right now, and he's not on SmackDown, so he can't win the US title. Kind of a weird turn of events there, So it ends up being, it makes sense. He's like one of the biggest heels in the company right now. Can't talk on the microphone, basically. But
why can't he talk, Sarah?
Because the booze.
Exactly. Okay. I just wanted to get that off for the peeps who were informed. I know you knew.
But I think that this was the perfect way to do that, to reward him by putting an NXT championship on him. Imagine the crowd reaction on Raw.
That's the thing. That's such a good point, is that you're going to have the crowd reaction on Raw where it's like, yeah, you're the NXT champion. This is Raw. Who the fuck cares? But then you have the other side of the coin on NXT. You're an NXT champion. You're on Raw, dude. Like, what are you doing? And then it brings legitimacy to NXT. It's like, oh shit, the Judgment Day, they run Raw, and one of their boys is champion on NXT. And then you get it. Oh,
it's so good.
My mind is exploding with the amount of connections that WWE is finally capitalizing on. It's awesome.
It's funny. I had someone arguing with me on Twitter, not being rude or anything, but I said, I think I commented on WWE's post of like, oh my God, what's your reaction to Dominic Mysterio being the North American champion? And I was like, it's incredible. And I had someone being like, no. And I said, yes. And they answered me again, was like, no. And I was like, you need to calm down. Think about this. It's wonderful. But again, I know I'm biased because I'm a big old fan of the heels. So, but I think this was great. Awesome. Then we had the Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders in a Viking rules match. I mean, okay. I will wait to share like all my thoughts, but I felt like this was an interesting match. We've acknowledged it several times. The Viking Raiders are really good in the ring. Okay, I don't have to like their gimmick, and I could think their gimmick is stupid, but they're incredible for how big they are. Please, okay, tell me what other man in professional wrestling the size of Ivar is hitting a moonsault. Okay, please tell me. There's nobody. You gonna look up how big he is?
No. I got a text, and because my computer doesn't have the name of it, I'm like, who the fuck is texting me? But that match, I think, stole the show on Raw. I want to put that out there. That as a gimmicky match as it was with the setup and everything, it legitimately stole the show. Chad Gable deserves to be the one to either dethrone Gunther in like 200, 300 days.
Mm-hmm.
See how I tagged that on? So I'm not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Or he needs to be in the title picture within the next 3 months.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying that. So Ivar does hit the moonsault. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I have to talk about this. So Ivar hits the moonsault on Otis, covers him for the pin. Gable's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna one up you, brother, and he hits his moonsault to break up the pin, and then hits a German suplex. And I was just like, how is this a real person? Like, how are you? How? Like, I don't know. Like, I literally wrote in my notes, how is this man real? Because that was just, I I was just blown away. So we did see a little bit more of Maxine. She hits Valhalla with a crossbody. Love it. Gable gives her Letterman jacket back. So that whole storyline lasted a week. And Valhalla then puts her through a table with a spear, which I was like, yes, queens. Because any type of action that we don't normally see from the women, I am all for it. So the Viking Raiders do win this. So it seems like obviously this whole back and forth between them is not
keep going.
over. But yeah, shout out to Gable. I feel like I don't know what to say about that man. I don't know. But
they're good athletes, but Valhalla's a bit of a dumb gimmick. If you're gonna be a Viking Raiders, you kind of need that, like, goddess or whatever of war. So I get it, but I would agree that it's a little bit gimmicky.
Well, that's why I say I feel like this is one that teeters on what we were talking about earlier, where it's like a little too unbelievable for some people to get behind it, because you're literally pretending to be Vikings from like how many years, hundreds of years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like it teeters a little bit too much on fantasy for people like me to be like, yeah, but like obviously the Viking Raiders are so good in the ring that you can kind of forget about maybe how stupid the whole the whole character is. But yeah, no, this was a great match, and kudos to them, because this is crazy. So okay. So then we have Shayna Baszler.
Nope.
And
if Ronda is my bathroom break, I'll let you talk about her and then I'll close. But I am not talking about Ronda Rousey on the show. I am not doing it. I don't care about her. I'll say this to start the conversation. I don't care what she said about breaking down the door and not needing to go through the indies. Great, you shout out the indies, Ronda. But guess what? No one fucking cares about you. So Sarah, to keep the show going, and you can continue it. I need a break because I'm not talking about her. And yeah, just not doing it.
Literally me with Matt Riddle. Anyway, so I would say I'm still very confused about the direction that they are taking Shayna, because she had a squash match with Nikki Cross, which, people aren't really behind Nikki Cross necessarily, but people don't hate Nikki Cross. So I'm still just kind of confused about, are we supposed to like Shayna? Are we not supposed to like Shayna? I'm not really sure. But Ronda does show up, and she's all the way up in the crowd. And she says that she didn't take the easy route into WWE, like people have been implying, and Shayna has implied. She walked through the back door and just got handed everything. And so Ronda says, you know what? Actually, the door that I came through was a lot more difficult, because I came in with very little experience and was thrown into everything right away. So I don't see how that's any easier. And she says, you know what, Shayna, you are just a knockoff of me. And Shayna says, you would know better than anyone that I'm just a better version of you, and she tells Ronda to come on down if she wants to settle this right now. She tries to go after Ronda. Ronda's like, don't even worry about it, girlfriend. We got this match made official for SummerSlam. So now we know that we will be seeing Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam. I don't know. I think that they could have gone in a better direction with this. I think that they could have gotten us behind Shayna a lot more over the last couple of weeks compared to what they've done. Because as I said, I feel like they haven't really done anything to make people want to cheer for Shayna over Ronda, other than these exchange of words, which people just think is fun because she's just calling out Ronda basically the same way that the internet calls her out. But yeah, otherwise, I don't think anyone cares. I really don't. So,
yeah, the only thing I'm gonna say, because he squirrel, he rumors said Ronda going back to cage fighting thoughts. You're half right, because this is where I think Ronda will thrive. Okay, as the champ, there's always a positive to someone, and Ronda's positive is in UFC. I'm not gonna sit here and say that she isn't probably the greatest female fighter in UFC history, if not one of. And with the new deal in UFC, Endeavor, WWE, and the rumors right now going around that they're going to start merging the two in some way, shape, or form. Ronda Ronda Rousey is a critical part of that because she is essentially the door between WWE and UFC where you can merge the two, have it work out both in your favor, where you kind of get both fans in there, and it's good to launch the platform of Endeavor when they start streaming stuff, that eventual streaming service when WWE gets off Peacock. So, I know Ronda's critical and important for that. I don't want to see her on my television on Raw unless Shayna Baszler is beating the absolute holy hell out of her. And I can't believe that I'm reading comments here about Micah. I care about Ronda Rousey. Well, that makes one person. I see you see. How do you not like Jeff Hardy? What? As I was with the broken one, woken one, spoken one last night, Matt Hardy at Kowloon. And then, I said that comment already. So, yeah. Oh, my God.
All right. Moving on to Trish and Becky. Becky Lynch appears on Miz TV. And of course, there's going to be a twist because that's what Miz does on Miz TV, especially recently.
I loved how she did that.
So, first of all, I loved her outfit. I was like, girl, first of all, other than loving her outfit, I just think she's unfair. She is a mom and she looks that good. Girl, stop it. This is not fair.
Incredible.
Becky. The thing that's unfair about Becky is that she looks better now, older, and after being a mom than she did before. That's what I think is unfair because that's usually how it happens with men. Men age backwards. How's she aging backwards? I find that rude. So we finally see the twist, obviously, after Becky threatens the Miz. And that is Zoe and Trish are also going to
tiny balls.
So Trish and Zoe come out, and after a lot of back and forth between Becky and Trish finally accepts Becky's challenge for SummerSlam, but with 3 conditions. First, we need to see Becky beat Zoe next week. Then, if she does beat Zoe, she needs to get on her hands and knees and say, "Thank you, Trish." And then if she does that, then she's going to need to tattoo "Thank you, Trish" across her chest. I was like, what?
No, that's if she loses.
Oh, that's if she loses. Okay, but I'm saying
the tattoo and on her knees is
okay.
after she beats her, and then as Trish would think eventually loses.
Yeah.
The other two follow.
Yeah. So, I thought that was kind of a little extreme, but Becky agreed to all of it, and then they get into a brawl. She tears off Trish's mask and then puts it on her face to headbutt Zoe with it. And I was like, oh snap. So I'm fine with this. I think this is the easiest way for them to include Zoe in this moving forward, because obviously we assumed that it was just going to be Trish versus Becky at SummerSlam, but I like this aspect to it. I just hope we're seeing the end of this because I'm just not that invested anymore.
No, it's done. I think when you use the phrase "tattoo "Thank you, Trish" across your chest, we've got to that point of we're wrapping this up soon. Okay, because that felt very 90s to me. Very early 2000s of just absurdity. Yeah, and it's just not gonna happen. So you kind of know that Trish is going to lose to end this feud. And Becky has been, as she said in her comments to Miz, that she's lost everything. Okay. And when a wrestler says they've lost this, they've lost that, they lost, telltale sign, better days are coming. Okay. Better days are coming. So let's think of that detail. And then she's going to go, I wouldn't say in a title feud. I don't think she should. She could go. See, there you go. Perfect. All right.
What?
Here we have 4. We have 4 women now competing for Rhea's title after SummerSlam. That is 4 more legitimate competitors than there are now for it. So, or 3. I mean, 3 more legitimate than there were before. So, to have that going after SummerSlam, let her do this shit with Trish. Let her give us a great match at SummerSlam. Have Liv, whatever, and then let's kickstart the women's division after SummerSlam with Rocky, Liv, and then Becky, because
Even
what else
Zoe.
is she gonna? And then you can even have Zoe too. You know, when they do
Well,
like a fatal four, and then maybe Zoe and someone feud.
Well, and then Trish also alluded, like, she brought up leaving. She was like, I've already done what I wanted to do. So, like, I don't need to be here anymore. So it was like, oh, are you, like, kind of telling us about what's going to happen in the future? You're leaving? Okay. But yeah, I think that this played out a lot longer than I anticipated it, especially for Trish, because I didn't think that she was going to be around for this long. But, you know, yeah, I think it's going to end at SummerSlam. And then before we end the show, I wanted to just talk about, are we seeing the makings of another Nakamura heel turn? So last night we saw Bronson Reed versus Nakamura.
Hey, it's big Bronson Reed.
Big Bronson Reed, is that what they're calling him?
That was in his lower third.
Oh, got it.
It was big or bad? I'm gonna look that up.
Big bad Bronson Reed. Yeah, so they're doing their match, they're doing their thing, whatever. And then we see Tommaso Ciampa come in. He interferes and attacks Bronson because Bronson got involved in his no DQ match against The Miz, which then basically set up The Miz to win the match. And that essentially DQs Nakamura, and he gets pissed. So he hits Ciampa, then he does an interview backstage, and he said that he is tired of everybody getting involved in his business, and he says it twice, and he yells it the second time. So I'm wondering if this is the makings of a Nakamura heel turn, but I don't want to see that. I don't. I didn't like Nakamura as a heel the first time. And they just had him come back and people sing his song. I don't know. I want to see, I'm fine with this kind of thing happening where it's like even a good guy gets irritated about people getting involved in their business and like ruining matches, and I think that's fine. They don't have to be a heel to get mad about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, I don't want to see it. I
don't mind it, because to me a heel Nakamura is just a more aggressive, a more physical Nakamura, which kind of is how he was in New Japan. One of my favorite styles of wrestling, King of Strong style, bringing that back. And that would be a good way it's a good way to give him more of that aggressiveness in a few words, like, oh, he could win this match, or, he's not just going, getting buried to put someone else over.
What if they kind of did what we've talked about with LA Knight with him, where he kind of straddles the line between being good and bad? I feel like I would prefer that, because Nakamura is so likable.
He's so likable.
And I'm like, I don't want, and it's like, you don't want everyone to stop singing his song. That's so fun.
You can't listen. They know they're going to do everything in their power to keep fans singing every song.
I know. Oh my gosh, the Whoa last night. Oh my gosh.
So
I swear it gets, other than the fact that it gets louder and louder every single week, they also start singing more of the song every single week. So it used to be like you could, there were some people who were singing the entire song, but mostly it was like the whoa that was really loud. And now everyone's like, adrenaline in my soul. And I'm like, everybody is just singing the entire. No, how dare you? But I told you, I felt like this is going to become one of the most iconic songs in professional wrestling history. Like, I really do think it's going to end up being like a top 10 all time.
We were at the Matt Hardy show last night, and our good friend John Alba is playing wrestling themes. So let's close out the show in a fun way, a little game.
All right.
John Alba said the next song I'm going to play is the greatest wrestling theme ever in wrestling history. I'll give you a hint. You absolutely know who it is. It's in our wheelhouse of the Attitude Era. Who do you think it is?
Triple H?
No.
Batista.
You gotta think more. No, it's not a big star. It's not like a champion. But it's a popular wrestler.
Billy Gunn.
Warmer in the card sense, match card sense, but no.
Good themes from the Attitude Era. I'm trying to think. Who did I
think? Think Blood.
Shane McMahon. Blood.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just
someone
tell me.
drinking blood. Oh, Gangrel.
So was it
The
the
Brood.
Brood?
It was the Brood.
I mean, I don't know if I would agree with that. That is
Oh,
the
it's up
best.
there. It's easily top 5.
It's so difficult to think of it though, because I feel like, there are so many good ones, and I feel like part of why everyone's list is different is because let's say for our generation that watched the Attitude Era, there's going to be different ones that kind of like provide that nostalgia to you, and that's going to be a part of the reason why it's one of your favorites. Like I never liked Gangrel and stuff because they scared the shit out of me when I was a child. So like I don't know that I would say that they're like a top 10, even if I do think it's like a banger now.
Did you have a nightmare of Gangrel power bombing or choke slamming you through a sewer?
No, it was the drinking blood that scared me.
I mean, yeah,
that freaked me out.
Yeah,
that was before Twilight and before I like loved vampires,
you're like, oh my
so
god, Robert Pattinson.
yeah.
Pattinson,
Edward, come bite me. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so the point why I brought it up is actually because of Cody Rhodes. Unbelievable tangent. But so the next song he plays is Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, where am I? AEW predominant crowd. They start booing the shit out of it. They're like, no, boo. And I was
hated him. They hated him when he left. So
and I'm with Sore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Sore asked a question too. That's an off-camera topic because balls to him to do that. But Sore looks at me and is like, why are they booing Cody Rhodes? Like, it's Cody Rhodes. Like, no one boos Cody Rhodes. And I had to tell him.
Yeah. He's one of the founding fathers of AEW.
Yeah. Like, there's so much. And we're going tonight. So he's going to experience that. We're going to watch. I'm going to watch the greatest wrestler on God's green earth wrestle tonight. Okay. You know how excited I am?
Isn't this one of your favorites?
Yes! Yay, squirrel! Let's go!
That's one of Pat's all-time favorites. Like he even asked if we could use it as like our entrance like show music, and I said absolutely not. Absolutely not.
With the rocks. I said that when he asked like, what do you think the greatest theme song is? I yelled out Oddities.
Oh my god, you're such a dweeb.
They were awesome.
Anyway,
who is the greatest wrestler on God's green earth, Micah? Mr. Kenny Omega?
Oh jeez.
And the Golden Elite, Kota Ibushi. Is Daniel Bryan fighting? Yeah, Daniel Bryan's in this match. I'm like 90%. No, he's not. No.
Too Cool was also good.
Too Cool was a banging it, turn it up.
Yep, that was a good one.
I'm so excited. Golden Elite. Cesaro / Claudio. I'm seeing him now.
Bay.
John Moxley.
I'm so over him. Don't even care. I think
Cody leaving for WWE was a better career move. He's a bigger star now.
Oh, 100%.
1,000%.
I also, before we end this, so his...
Hello, ladies.
So, his documentary debuted last night. Like, there was, like, the first showing of it last night. And so I did watch... Huh?
It's not, that wasn't like a wait, can you explain? I thought it was coming out in like a few months.
It's coming out in a few weeks, isn't it, or something? No, I'm saying there was like a showing of Cody's thing for like the media.
It was a teaser,
yeah, last night in Atlanta. So he was interviewed and on the red carpet, and Denise Salcedo is one of the ones that interviewed him. And she's such a tiny human. I was like, she has heels on, and she's like barely up to like his shoulders. So I was like, if you took those shoes off, girl, where are you? Like, but anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, he was saying that I don't remember what the question was, but I just thought it was interesting that he said when he first came to WWE, came back to WWE at WrestleMania, that he had said it to Brandy that he felt like they were gonna boo him. He said that he didn't think that people were going to be excited to see him, probably because of how he left and like what he did while he was gone. And so he was like legitimately shocked. And I was like, I don't think he's lying about this, because sometimes people like to try and like fabricate little things like that. Yeah. He's not that type of dude. And I was like, I felt kind of bad. I was like, because of how his experience ended in AEW. Obviously, they weren't pro Cody. So I can't imagine how amazing that must have felt to come out to an ovation like that, because there was probably a lot of people in that crowd who had no idea whose music that was, because if you don't watch AEW, then you would have no idea. But like, I even just watched the clip again recently on a compilation video I think WWE put together of like the best crowd reactions to returns or something. I don't know, entrances. And Cody's at WrestleMania last year was one of them. And it's incredible every time I watch it. Like the crowd reaction's amazing, and the fact that he thought it was going to be the complete opposite just like boggles my mind. But that's the impression that was left on him from W. So I kind of don't blame him.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. I can't wait. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for Blood and Guts.
Oh, it says July 31st. David says enjoy Blood and Guts.
Thank you, David. I will enjoy Blood and Guts. I'm very excited for it. My second time watching a War Games type match at the Garden in a calendar year, technically. It's fucking incredible. So I'm excited for that, and excited for all the content we got coming, because we don't stop. I took pictures and some video from last night from the Hardy. Be posting that to my Instagram along with what I get tonight. And that's why you got to follow us on social media. Do that by looking in the description below, because I got to watch Dirty Dom win the title. I saw another little promo I want to see in NXT before I head to Blood and Guts. So just do that in the description and then hit subscribe. Okay, we have 790, right?
No, 785.
785. Oh, okay, my math was wrong. I'm a words guy. So go and subscribe, because it's growing and we really appreciate it, and we want to do this for as long as we can, and we cannot do it without you peeps. As your champion, I commend you peeps. So help the champ out by following us, subscribing to us, and all that. And I think there was Mike is recording Blood and Guts.
Oh, hey, Squirrel's in Massachusetts too.
Oh, what's good?
I don't know if he's still here, but hey, you guys could be buddies.
We love a New England peep right there. So go do what the champ said. Follow me, follow Sarah, subscribe to the show, and check out all the clips in the YouTube shorts. And that's all we got. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. And remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you next stream. Yeah!